What is the difference between emotions and feelings?
Emotions versus feelings. Many people confuse the two. They think they are the same. They think that emotions and feelings are the same. And they're really not. And if you create this distinction, accept this distinction between your emotions and your feelings, then by creating that distinction, a new space, a new possibility of being comes into play. So, what are emotions? Everybody knows the saying, you're never angry about what you're angry about. You're also never sad about what you're sad about. So emotions always are triggered. You're going along in your life, something happens, your mind interprets it, and the interpretation then demands you feel an emotion. You see the puppy dog fall into a puddle, and then your mind says, oh, that is so sad, the puppy dog fell in the puddle. So then it tells you what is the appropriate emotion to run through your body-mind mechanism. However, by this time you're out of the now. It wasn't a spontaneous feeling. Even emotions sometimes feel spontaneous, but if you actually look, it goes recognition of what's happening, response, run the emotion through your body. The emotions are stored in your pain body. You carry them until they are resolved. When you feel sadness or grief, it's always the same sadness, it's always the same grief, no matter what the circumstance that triggered it that time was. So, with feelings, it's different. Feelings are not there because of anything. Emotions are there because of something. Your mind interprets life, and because of that you have an emotion. The emotions we carry with them come from the past. Situations that happened that we didn't fully integrate and experience at the time. Emotions are when your mind encapsulates feelings and labels them and gives them meaning. So we generate meanings about the dramas that we've lived, and we support those meanings with emotions. It's an entirely fabricated thing. Feelings, on the other hand, when your emotional body is cleared, even if it's just for a moment or in a period of time, then what is replaced is feelings. It's a bit like when the movie is stopped being projected onto the screen, there's just this incredible blank. But that blank isn't null and void. There is a feeling. Feelings, we give them names like joy, gratitude, peace, and so forth. There are no negative feelings in the universe. There are no negative feelings in the universe. There's no sorrow inherently existing in the universe. There's no anger inherently existing in the universe. When we become free, we will not experience anger or sorrow. Those are emotions, and they come from misunderstanding how life is. When we are free, angels, you don't get angry angels. You don't get sad angels, do you? Why? Because there is no actual inherently existing cause of anger or any inherently existing cause of sorrow. The fact that something dies is not sad. The fact that somebody dies is not sad. Otherwise we'd all get it as sad, but we don't. Some people think, thank God he's gone. Some people think, oh my God, it's so sad he's gone. Everybody is experienced of somebody dying is dependent on who their being that person was. And their grief is their grief, given by their meanings that they have invented. So this is an incredible thing, because we tend to look at our grief, our sorrow, our anger, our jealousy, all the different emotions that run through us. We tend to look at them as real and have it that they actually have we give them reverence. But they're actually They just need to be felt. They keep on returning until we do feel them, until we do acknowledge them, until we do accept them, until we do recognize that actually it comes from somewhere way back then, just waiting for resolution. So it's possible to clear the backlog of unresolved emotion. It's possible to clear the backlog of unresolved anger, to actually get to the core and the root of the anger, to actually get to the core and the root of the sadness, and to resolve it, so that you move from being an emotional person to being a person who can feel massively. Now, when you experience emotions, it's always the one feeling the emotion and the emotion. When you have feelings, it's only one thing is going on. The feeling is happening. It's a living thing. It's not me feeling it. It's just the event of a clear space, a self-cognizing, a self-feeling, and universe happening in a clear space. That was me. Whereas in emotions, it's me feeling the emotion. Me calling the emotion in, actually, in the first place. It gets triggered. Something happens, the emotion gets triggered, and we feel it. And we think it's to do with what is happening now, which it isn't. So it's an amazing breakthrough when you get this, that if you're feeling an emotion, that the meaning of it comes from somewhere outside of that moment. This moment that you feel the emotion in has just triggered it for re-examination, for integration. And that really, peace will become stable. Stabilizing. Peace becomes stable, our joy and our happiness becomes stable as we clear the emotional body. And you don't feel, when you feel happy, the feeling of happiness, which is not derived from circumstances going well, but just the experience of life itself, you don't really know that you're happy because you're not there measuring it and there's no commentary about it. Also, when you feel deep peace, you don't really know the depth of that peace because there's nobody there measuring it or commentating about it. When the commentary ends, what truly is appears. And you are what truly is. So we can become stable in joy. We can become increasingly stable in clarity and happiness as the emotional body empties itself and becomes resolved. I wrote something here that I just want to include in this. It's called Emotions versus Feelings. Emotions are always called forth by thought. Feelings naturally arise out of presence. Emotions are conditioned responses. Feelings spontaneously appear from the heart of life. Emotions keep returning until resolution comes. Feelings of peace underscore all phenomena. Emotions are triggered by the interpretation of events. Feelings flow free from thought. Emotions are generated in the body-mind, and feelings soar in awareness. Emotions appear in time and drama. Feelings are only ever in the now. Emotions are projected so they can be seen. Feelings emerge from nothing. That's all there's ever been. So we are heading away from emotions, from the turbulence of emotions, into the deep world of pure feeling, where the I that suffers, the little I, dissolves into an ocean of feeling. And then the self is seen as pure feeling. The seer, the seeing, and what is seen are then one. The feeling, the feeler, and what is felt